I went from working a 9 to 5 to handing in my notice and becoming a full-time content creator just months after I uploaded my first ever video. I've also met several other creators who were able to do something similar. And I know that you guys are super keen to learn ways for you to fast track your own journeys as creators. So I decided to pull together my top 5 tips for fast tracking your journey, and I want to share them with you in today's video. Let's go straight to tip number 1. By the way, my name's Jade. Nice to meet you if you're new here. I always forget to introduce myself. Okay, so this tip isn't going to be for everyone, but it does work, so I'm going to share it regardless. This tip is to choose your future income streams early. Now, in order for me to explain this tip, I do need to flag a couple of things. When I'm talking about income streams, I'm just referring to the different ways that you can earn money as a content creator. For example, I earn money through my YouTube channel, through brand partnerships, through consultancy, through public speaking, etc., etc. Those are all my different income streams. Another thing that we should make clear is I'm not saying you should launch those income streams before you're ready. What I am saying is you should give some thought as to which income streams you might want to launch in the future early on in your career. The reason why this tip works so well is because it gives you clarity as to what you're aiming for. And that means that you're able to do things like tweak your content strategy, set yourself up so that when you're ready to launch that income stream, you are in the best possible position to actually see success from it. Let me give you some examples. Let's say you're watching this now and you're like, okay, I want to work with brands in the future, but you're not quite at the stage where you want to work with brands right now. That's totally fine. You identifying the fact that you want to work with brands on sponsorships or partnerships is amazing, because you can now make steps to ensure that you're in a good position to actually work with these brands in a few months, in a few years, whenever that time might come. Some things that you might want to do if this is you is you might want to start signing up to affiliate programs so that you can practice recommending products and also see how many of your audience are actually following through and purchasing the products that you recommend. Also, affiliate data can be really useful when you actually pitch to brands in the future, because it's clear evidence as to how many clicks or how many sales you actually get when you recommend a product or a service. You can also do things like start tagging your favorite brands when you organically mention them in your content. So when the time comes when you want to pitch that brand, you can actually show them evidence that you've always been a long-term fan and customer of their products. Another example, just in case brand partnerships aren't for you, maybe you want to launch a subscription or a membership in the future, whether that's like a YouTube channel membership or like an Instagram subscription, or maybe a whole nother off-platform membership that you build from the ground up, kind of like my membership, The Collective. Now, if that's you and you've identified early that that's something you want to launch in the future, it means that you can start to figure out what content you might want to offer exclusively through your future membership or subscription. Maybe you notice that your audience are always asking for exclusive behind the scenes content, so you keep note of that and think, great, I can use that as my subscription offering in the future. Maybe you notice that your audience are always asking for help with a specific pain point or problem that they have, and maybe you might be thinking, great, I can build an entire membership which will help them with that problem, right? It's a really great time for you to utilize your audience, learn more about them, and actually start to figure out what your subscription and membership might look like in the future. I do have a free creator income guide which breaks down the different income streams that you might want to explore and also tells you how easy or hard they are to actually launch. So if you want more information on that, it's completely free and it is linked in my description. The next tip I have for you is perfect for creators who are looking to grow their social media audience as part of their journey, right? This tip is called hyper targeting, and it's all about your audience, which you might be rolling your eyes at me because I love to talk about your audience all the time. But as a marketer, I know how important it is for you to consider your audience when it comes to ways for you to fast track your social media growth. Let me give some context behind this tip. If you're trying to grow your audience on social media, as I am as well, it's helpful if we think about our social media channels as matchmakers. The job of the social media channel that you are sharing your content on is to show your content to the right person. So you saw my YouTube video pop up when you were browsing YouTube. And the reason why you saw this video is because YouTube thought that you might be interested in it, right? They looked at my video, they looked at you, and they paired us together. Isn't that nice? I like to think they did a good job because you're still watching this video. But when you consider social media platforms as matchmakers in that perspective, it makes it easier for you to understand the power of being very, very targeted with who it is you're trying to be matched with. The easier it is for your social media platform to understand who your audience are, the more likely that platform is to actually share your content with that audience. This is why people talk about niching down so much. Niching down is when you get really specific about the one topic that you talk about on your social channels. People recommend doing that because it means that you have one very highly targeted audience group. Think about it. If you only talk about tropical plants, then you are only going to be targeting people who are interested in tropical plants, which means the matchmaker, also known as our social media platforms, has a really easy job. It's really easy to pair your content with the right people. Now, I'm not here to tell you that you need to niche down. I just want to explain why people recommend it. If you don't want to niche down, no problem. You don't need to. What you do still need though is a targeted audience, especially if we're talking about fast tracking growth, okay? Remember, this video is about how do you do things quickly? If you want to do things quickly, you have to get really specific about who you're talking to for your content. How old are they? Where they live? What do they like? What do they dislike? And create content exclusively for that group of people. My next tip is actually a bit of a plug. You didn't, this wasn't on the screen. I was miming plugging things in. This one is a bit of a plug, but I do want to share it because it genuinely has really helped a lot of people. I do these challenges inside my membership, which is called The Collective, right? I've done a 4-week Instagram challenge before, a 3-month YouTube challenge, and I'm about to do a 4-week engagement challenge, which will basically help you double your engagement across your social media platforms. The reason why I'm telling you this is because I have found over years of doing these challenges in various different programs that challenges are actually one of the most effective ways to get people to fast track their journey. The reason why is because when you take part in a challenge, or at least my challenge, I don't know how everyone else runs theirs, I give you a challenge calendar, which clearly tells you what you need to do every single day throughout that challenge. It explains what you need to do and why it works. And then I also have video lessons to make sure that you're really clear on what the instructions are. Having a task to complete every single day that is designed to help you reach a goal, like to grow on Instagram, grow on YouTube, increase your engagement, having that set out to you makes it really easy to follow and makes it really easy for you to apply what you're learning, which is one of the main things that people don't do when they spend time watching my videos, watching other people's videos, doing courses, etc. They learn everything but don't apply it. But when you take part in a challenge, it makes it really easy for you to apply everything that you're learning. Also, there are the other benefits of like doing a challenge amongst hundreds of other creators and like being able to get your questions answered and just getting that feeling of like camaraderie. That's the word, right? Camaraderie. Let's run with it. Also, one of the biggest reasons why completing challenges like this, even if it's my challenge, someone else's challenge, or your own challenge that you've created, completing challenges like this make it easy for you to apply the most powerful tactics within a short period of time because you know that you only have to do it for 4 weeks. It's a lot easier for you to commit to it. What then ends up happening is at the end of that 4-week period, for example, you will look at your analytics and you will see results that will be so wild and so much better than what you've achieved in the past that then motivates you to continue applying everything that you've learned. So it becomes a bit of a cycle, which means that you end up fast tracking your journey in the long run. So I will link to all of the challenges that I'm doing below. The live engagement challenge, which is all about doubling your engagement across any social media platform that you're on. That starts on the 24th of March. But if you want to complete it in your own time, you're more than welcome to. All of the resources are available inside my membership, The Collective. Okay, my next tip is to go all in on one social media channel. This is another one of those tips that I think people aren't going to like. But you know what? I'm going to share it anyway. It does work, right? By all in, what I mean is you focus on one social media channel for a year. And that social media channel is more important than any other social media channel that you have. When you sit down to create content, you create content for that channel first. If you have energy afterwards, you can create content for the other channels, sure. But the priority is always going to be that one channel, right? If you repurpose content across multiple channels, fine. But when you sit down to film that content, it's filmed with that one channel in mind. Going all in also means that you spend a lot of time researching that channel. So when I first started my YouTube channel, I like dove headfirst into the world of YouTube. I absorbed every single thing I could possibly absorb. I learned everything I could possibly learn, all in the hope that I would get to the point where I truly understood YouTube, its algorithm, and would therefore be able to leverage it for growth. Going all in also means that you prioritize engaging with your audience on that platform over the others. It doesn't mean you can't engage on the other platforms. It just means you prioritize engagement on your main one. This is a tactic that I utilized in the first year of my creator journey, and it was an absolute game changer for me. I don't know if this channel would be where it is today if I did not leverage that tactic, simply because I absorbed so much information about YouTube that I honestly got to the point where I could sit down and film a video and know how well it would do before I even post it. Do you know what I mean? Or if a video isn't performing as well as it should be, I can go through my YouTube analytics and clearly identify why it's not performing, what changes I need to make, and then turn that video around. Granted, it doesn't work every single time, but I still knew how to tweak it to hopefully improve it. I wouldn't have known any of that if I didn't go all in on YouTube, and that is why this tip is so important. Okay, my fifth and final tip is one of the most important, and now I'm questioning why I put it fifth, but whatever. I'm calling this tip inspiration versus intimidation. Let me explain. At some point in your creator journey, you're going to go through hopefully just a phase where you start to notice other creators in a similar niche, targeting a similar audience to you, and you're going to start comparing yourself to these creators. A lot of the time, just because of the way the human brain works, you'll be comparing yourself to creators who've been in the game for longer than you have. They might have more investment in their content than you do. They might be able to spend more time on their content. They might have more support, like all of this stuff that's actually meant that they have been able to reach a level of success that you don't feel like you've necessarily necessarily reached yet, what will end up happening is you will feel intimidated by these creators, and that will have a negative impact on you and also your content, right? This tip is all about flipping that on its head. So the next time you come into contact with a creator who you think to yourself, oh my God, they're killing it, the next thought I want you to have isn't, oh my God, why aren't I as good as them? The next thought I want you to have is, oh my gosh, how inspiring. What can I learn from this person? That is the difference between someone who sees a lot of success in life, not just content creation, but entrepreneurship, everything. That is the difference between someone who sees a lot of success in life and someone who doesn't. I mean, it's one of the differences. I'm sure there's loads. I hate saying like such black and white things like that. Obviously, there's loads of differences, but I truly believe that is one of the biggest differences between those two camps of people. When you're able to look at someone who's doing really, really well, and instead of finding it intimidating or any other negative emotion, you're actually able to see how inspiring that is and then take lessons from them. That's going to be when you're able to fast track your journey. Now, taking lessons from these creators can come in a different format. It could be that the next time you see their content, you stop for a second and analyze why you think it's performing so well. Remember, we're looking for inspiration and not imitation here, so don't go copy them. But it could be really powerful for you to sit down and think, I wonder why this stopped me scrolling. I wonder why I find this messaging so captivating, right? You can take some learnings from their content and it might help you improve your content. Another way that you can learn from them is by actually just reaching out. Now, keep in mind that like, if we're talking about really big, successful creators, a lot of them don't read all their DMs, like, you know, they're super busy. So I don't want you to be like, disappointed if they don't respond. A lot of the time I don't think it's a personal thing, but every now and then you can reach out to creators and they might actually be willing to help you. Maybe you meet these creators at events and you can be like, I'd love your thoughts on how you managed to achieve this, right? A lot of the time with successful people, they have real abundance mindsets, which means when someone comes up to them, even if they're a competitor, if someone comes up to them and says like, hey, I love your content, I'd love to know what camera you use. A lot of the time they're going to be like, sure, this is my kit, this is my mic, let me know if you need any help, because they just have this abundance mindset where they feel like there's enough space for everyone. At least I can confidently say that at least 99% of the creators I've met have that kind of mindset and have been incredibly forthcoming with their tips and information. Okay, I'm pretty sure that was 5 tips in total. I hope you found that useful. Don't forget that you can check out all the different challenges that I do inside my membership community via the link in the description. If you feel like hanging around, I recommend watching this video. It's all about my top lessons that I've learned from some of the biggest creators in the world. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I can't wait to see you in my next video.